Hello viewers, I am Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal, stands before you with a topic of 6th semester of Political Science Honours, and the name of the topic is Major Basis of India's Foreign Policy. This topic, major basis of India's foreign policy, is found in DSE-3, which is India's foreign policy in a changing world. It is found in DSE-3 of 6th semester. But before I discuss major basis of India's foreign policy, I want to inform my viewers that my channel name is @Dilip Kumar Pal 9375. You can search it in Google. If you will search this in Google, as many as 400 videos will be available, and courses of plus 2 first year to plus 2 second year political science, and plus 3 first semester political science honors to 6th semester political science honors, including some videos of environmental studies of plus 3 first semester, which is common for plus 3 first semester arts, commerce and science, are available. Or you may write my name Dilip Kumar Pal and the name of the topic in YouTube. Both the Odia video and English videos are available. If you will find any Odia video, be sure that its English version is available. If you will find any English video, be sure that its Odia videos are also found. So let us start. Major basis of India's foreign policy. In the world, no nation will be able to follow an isolated policy. In the world, no nation will be able to follow an isolated policy. It means every nation is bound to have its relationship with other nations. Every nation maintains its relationship with other nations through its foreign policy. So, in this world, no nation is now will be able to follow an isolated policy. It means no nation can keep itself away from other nations. Every nation is bound to have its relationship with other nations, because in the world, every nation now depends on other nations. So, no nation today can follow an isolated policy. Every nation is bound to have its relationship with other nations. So, for this, every nation has its foreign policy. Every nation is bound to have its relationship. Every nation is bound to have its relationship with other nations, and it maintains its relationship with its foreign policy. So, about foreign policy, Professor Ratna Swami told, foreign policy is a bundle of principles and practices which regulate the intercourse of a state with other nations. So foreign policy means a bundle of principles or practices on the basis of which a nation maintains its relationship with other nations. So every nation maintains its relationship with other nation on the basis of some principles. So India also has framed its foreign policy on the basis of some principles which are mentioned below. So, in this world, no nation will be able to follow an isolated policy. It means every nation is bound to have its relationship with other nations. No nation can exist by itself because every nation depends on other nations today. So every nation is bound to have a relationship with other nations. For this, every nation has its foreign policy. And foreign policy is prepared on the basis of some principles. That is why Professor Ratna Swamy told foreign policy is a bundle of principles and practices which regulate the intercourse of a state with other nations. So foreign policy means a bunch of principles or practices which regulate the relationship of a country with other nations. So in the world, every country has its foreign policy. On the basis of foreign policy, a country maintains its relationship with other nations. And foreign policies are based on some principles. India's foreign policy is also being guided by some principles which are mentioned below. And in this video, we will discuss as many as 11 principles which guide India's foreign policy. Number 1, policy of non-alignment. India trusts on the policy of non-alignment. It means it does not believe to join with any bloc, maybe American bloc or Russian bloc, without aligning with any bloc. It wants to have a relationship with all nations of all groups. It is considered as policy of international peace, and by this its views are given weight by all nations of all blocs. The first principle of India's foreign policy is non-alignment. Non-alignment means India does not like to join with any group, maybe of American group or Russian group. India always tries to maintain distance from every group. It wants to be neutral in the international sphere. And India considers it as a policy of peace. It does not want to join with any bloc, maybe American group or Russian group. It wants to be neutral so that India's view is given weight by nations of all bloc. So the first principle of India's foreign policy is that it trusts on the principle of non-alignment. It doesn't believe to join with any group, maybe of American group, maybe of Russian group. India wants to follow the policy of non-alignment. Number 2, respect to Panchsheel principles. India regards Panchsheel principles as a basic principle of its foreign policy, which was signed in April 29 in 1954 with China. Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Chinese Prime Minister Zhou Enlai signed in this treaty. These five principles are mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, non-aggression, non-interference in each other's internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. Another principle on which Indian foreign policy is based is the principle of Panchsheel principle. In 1954, it was signed by Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Chinese Prime Minister Zhou Enlai. And in the Panchsheel principle, there are 5 principles which guide Indian foreign policy. These 5 principles are mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Every country will give respect to territory of other country. Number 2, non-aggression. A country should not attack any other country. Non-interference in each other's internal affairs. A country should not interfere in the affairs of other country. Equality and mutual benefit. Every country will treat all nations equal. Mutual benefit means all countries should assist one another. Peaceful coexistence means the principle of live and let live. It means every country should live and it allows other country to live. So another principle of India's foreign policy is Panchsheel principle. India's foreign policy is guided by Panchsheel principles or 5 principles. Number 3, respect to UNO. India is an original member of UNO. It believes that it is the only means to maintain world peace. So India always provides fund and military personnel to help UNO to achieve its object. Another principle of India's foreign policy is that it gives respect to UNO. India believes that so long as UNO is present, world will be secure. UNO is a means to maintain world peace. So considering UNO as a means for world peace, India gives respect to UNO. It provides fund and military assistance to UNO to promote world peace. Number 4, preservation of world peace. India always try to preserve world peace at any cost. India always gives priority. India always gives priority to achieve world peace. In this context, it was influenced by personalities like Gautam Buddha, Ashok the Emperor, and Mahatma Gandhi. Another guiding principle of India's foreign policy is preservation of world peace. India always wants to maintain world peace. India always is interested to fight for world peace. India always likes peace in the world. In this context, it was influenced by personalities like Gautam Buddha, the great saint, Emperor Ashok, and Mahatma Gandhi. 5th one, resist colonialism, imperialism, and racism. India always works to drive out humanitarian principles like above, like colonialism, imperialism, and racism. Colonialism means to conquer others' areas forcibly and establish its colony. Whenever establishment of colony will be for exploitative purpose, it will be imperialism. Finally, racism means to make discrimination among races. Another principle of India's foreign policy is that it resists. It doesn't like colonialism, imperialism, and racism. India regards all these principles as inhumanitarian principles. Colonialism means whenever a country will conquer other countries forcibly and rule, it is colonialism. Imperialism means whenever a country will conquer other countries, establish colony for exploitative purpose, it is imperialism. Racism means whenever a country discriminates among races, it is known as racism. India always resists, criticizes colonialism, imperialism, and racism. 6th one is support nuclear and conventional disarmament. India trusts in the principle for disarmament, may be conventional or nuclear. It wants only armament for national protection. India always support disarmament. India does not like weapons. It always supports disarmament, may be conventional or nuclear. India wants armaments for the protection of a country. India does not like production of fatal weapons. 7. Good relations with neighboring states. India always wants to have good relationship with neighboring countries. India always tries to have good relationship with neighboring countries. So India played an active role in the formation of SAARC in 1985. Another principle of India's foreign policy is that India always tries to have good relationship with neighboring countries. That is why in 1985, at the time of formation of SAARC, South Asia Association of Regional Conference, which was for 1985, India played an active role. 8. Voice against discriminatory treaties in international level. India always opposes discriminatory treaties in the international level like NPT, CTBT. So India did not sign in above treaties. India always raised its voice. India always raised its voice against discriminatory treaties. That is why India did not sign in NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. India always protests against discriminatory policies in the international level. That is why India did not sign in NPT and CTBT. 9. Priority to noble means to achieve national objective. India always trusts to use noble means or ethical means to achieve its objective. So, it does not think to harm interest of any country for its own interest. Another principle of India's foreign policy is that it always gives priority to noble means to achieve its object. India always gives priority to noble means to achieve its object. It does not want to adopt unethical means to achieve its national objective. 10. Show voluntary interest to solve world problems. India always shows interest to solve problems of world like poverty, illiteracy, eliminate terrorism, malnutrition, environmental pollution, secure interest of developing nations. Another principle of India's foreign policy is that it always shows interest to solve problems of the world level like poverty, illiteracy, malnutrition, elimination of terrorism, environmental pollution, secure interest of developing nations. Finally, show interest to solve disputes in regional and international level. India always takes interest to solve disputes in above level, regional, international, to promote peace in the world. It does not want to be a silent observer for regional and international problems. Another principle of India's foreign policy is that it always wants to show interest to solve regional problem and international problem. It doesn't want to be a silent observer for the international and regional problems. So, in this video we have discussed that in this world, no nation can live alone. It is bound to have its relationship with other nations. A nation maintains its relationship through its foreign policy. Foreign policy is prepared on the basis of principles, and India's foreign policy has been prepared on the basis of as many as 11 important principles. Thank you, viewers. I want to request my viewers, you may watch the whiteboard, you can write down the notes, or if you listen me also, you can write down the notes. Thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye.